hasn't done on COVID. We'll play that and then get your explanation on why you picked it.
He waited and waited and waited. He still doesn't have a plan. I laid out back in March exactly what we should be doing. And I laid out again in July what we should be doing.
All right, DeRoy, the debate over the action the president did or didn't take.
Yeah, he didn't wait at all. In fact, it was the day after the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 to be a global threat. The day after that happened, the President of the United States shut down the incoming flights from China, which, as you know, was infected with the Chinese virus out of Wuhan. A few days after that, he brought in the CDC and the other government agencies and said we need to get busy with tests, with therapies and drugs and so on. Brought in the drug companies, got them busy on this, got the FDA to approve all sorts of new drugs and therapies in record time. Here in New York City, we had a hospital ship. We had another hospital ship in Los Angeles. We had 18 different field hospitals across the country, including a 3,000-bed hospital here at the Javits Center in New York. Ventilators. We were afraid ventilators would run out and people would suffocate from COVID-19. We now have so many ventilators that they've actually stopped ordering them. The warehouse full of ventilators is almost exploding. All this is a result of very swift and immediate and firm leadership by President Trump, who didn't wait and wait and wait. He got very busy once this awful Chinese virus struck us.
Okay, so that was one of the hot topics tonight. Also, Leslie, to your moment, they talked about the suburbs, which is going to be a critical voting bloc for either candidate, hoping to sway those folks. Here's a bit of their conversation on that.
But if he ever got to run this country and they ran it the way he would want to run it, we would have, our suburbs would be gone. By the way, our suburbs would be gone. And you would see problems like you've never seen.
He wouldn't know a suburb unless he took a wrong turn.
Oh, I know suburbs.
He would not.
So much
I was raised in the suburbs.
Okay, Leslie, why did you choose that moment?
One, I thought it was a funny line. You know, he wouldn't know the suburbs unless he took a wrong turn. The other thing is I think this really just displays the difference between the two candidates and, quite frankly, the voters who support them and their impression. I mean, the president here is clearly fear-mongering. You know, you're going to, you know, the cities are burning, and all the people that are burning the cities down are going to come into the suburbs and they're going to scare you. But that tactic doesn't seem to be working if you look at the numbers, because the numbers of those suburban voters, especially women that the president is trying to court and the Republicans want the votes of, are not buying in, at least as of yet. And you hear Joe Biden talking about, look, I know the suburbs. I grew up in the suburbs. You don't know or understand the suburbs on the one hand.
Yeah, that's why Hunter Biden became a drug addict.
Using fear, saying that Joe Biden, if elected president,
because all the problems in the suburbs.
Wipe out the suburbs.
They don't have any incentive to work.
Very different styles.
So they get paid off millions of dollars for being Joe Biden's son.
Different styles. So, Steve, that takes us to your moment where we talk about the issue of how far left Mr. Biden may or may not have gone. He was pressing on a lot of those positions tonight. So let's play a little bit of the exchange.
Good zinger, though. Nice little zinger.
Not what you said.
Give him that much.
That is simply. Your party doesn't say it. Your party wants to go socialist medicine.
My party is
and
me.
Socialist
right
healthcare.
now, I am
and
the
they're going to
Democratic
dominate
Party.
you, Joe. You know that.
I am the Democratic Party right now. The platform of the Democratic Party is what I, in fact, approved of.
Joe, you agree with Bernie Sanders, who's far left, on the manifesto.
Okay, Steve, he was pressed on Green New Deal, defunding the police, all kinds of other issues. Why was that your moment tonight?
Well, it's interesting, Shannon, because if you look at most of the commentary after tonight's debate, it's not surprising, really, because the nature of it, it's all focused on the tone and the performances of each candidate and the fireworks between them. But in terms of actual deeper political strategy, I thought this was really the only significant thing that happened, which is the president's managed to push Joe Biden into denouncing left-wing positions that actually represent a real division within the Democratic Party. He's trying to paper over those cracks. He's trying to say, yeah, we're all friends now. But actually, tonight, he really went much further than we've ever seen. He said, I beat Bernie Sanders. I'm not for the stuff he's for. I'm not for Medicare for all. I'm not for the Green New Deal. I'm not for defunding the police. Now, that will really upset a lot of those, particularly those younger, more urban supporters, and that could make a difference in
they might stay home,
in terms of turnout, in terms of activists being enthusiastic,
might not vote
for Biden. I think actually the way he backed off some of those positions very directly tonight could really harm him come.
Pretty smart.
All right, I want to go through the panel quickly so we get everybody in and ask whether you think the next two debates will be different in tone, or you're going to see more of what we saw tonight, which was a lot of talking over each other, talking over the moderator. We'll go down the line.
Yeah, Biden might bail.
I don't mind the rancor. I don't even mind the sort of lack of politeness. I do have a problem with all the constant crosstalk and interruption to the point where you can't really follow anybody and nobody's able to finish a sentence. So I'd be happy with one obnoxious comment and then a pause, then another obnoxious comment from the other side. That's fine, but the crosstalk is very counterproductive.
Yeah, Leslie, do you think either takes notes or constructive criticism that may change a difference in the way they show up and approach this next time around?
I kind of picture the president getting off the stage and everybody telling him he did great, even if they don't all believe that. I don't think it might be the same for Joe Biden, but I do think these are very strong-willed men, both of them, who may not be open to recommendations or criticism. So I fear, and I hope I am wrong, but I fear the next two debates will be very similar, more of the same. President likes to interrupt an awful lot. Both like to defend, and
he's an interrupter.
finish their sentences when
He interrupted Hillary Clinton from
Yeah, and Steve, there will be
becoming
different moderators along the way, and they'll have a different way of tackling this.
the
but
Queen.
Their hands full, it looks like, with these two.
The Queen of America.
They are, and you know, honestly, there's been a lot of complaint about it, but to me, this debate really captured, for better or worse, the state of our country right now. This is how everyone's
Exactly,
feeling.
everybody's at each other's
How many
throats.
years people have got very strong feelings on all the issues that were discussed and on this election, and so it's not surprising. I think they reflected, actually, the debate that's going on in the country. I agree with Deroy, though. Be aggressive, challenge the other candidate, but let them respond so that we
Wouldn't
can
have
actually
anything
hear
less.
a proper debate.
Well, I saw a couple suggestions on Twitter that you had the little kill switches for their mics. I've often thought I might like that on this show, but I don't need it for you three. So, Steve, Deroy, and Leslie, thank you all.
Shannon Bream.
All right, stick around. The candidates sparring tonight on race relations and law and order. Our panel stays with us for round two next.